Imagine stepping into a room full of people who look like they're stuck in fast forward, but somehow they're all watching you, waiting for something. Not just anyone, but the person who shows up and flips the script, the one who dares to ask the weird questions, the uncomfortable questions. The person who shakes up the dusty way things have always been done, the one who refuses to settle for good enough, who's burning with a fire that won't be put out by 1,000 no's or sideways glances. That's who the best teams crave. Not average, not safe. They're pulled like moths to a flame that promises something wild and real. Here's the raw truth. Playing by the old rulebook, copying what everyone else does, only ever nets you teams that are meh, mediocre, safe. People who clock in, tick boxes, and quietly leave their dreams at the door. But when a founder's guts kick in and they challenge the norm, when they say, "No, I won't accept the status quo," everything changes. The best humans start to show up. The ones who spark off each other, who are hungry to build something raw and unapologetic, who live for the chance to make an impact that lasts long after the world gets tired. Why does this happen? Because norm challengers don't just build companies, they build missions. And missions draw in people who want in on something real. People who are done with small talk and empty promises. They want to be part of a story where they actually matter. That hyper-clear sense of purpose cuts through the noise. It creates magnetic energy. It pulls in not just any employee, but those handful of wild, rare souls who burn as hard as the founder does. Those who see purpose as oxygen and complacency as poison. But here's where most founders trip up. Challenging norms isn't just about saying, "We're different," or "We do things our way." It's about embodying that rebellion in every single interaction, in every tough decision, even when it costs. It means tearing down the comfortable illusions the world sells so easily. Safe jobs, easy answers, polite smiles, and making a space where people don't just work together, but become together. The real challenge is to keep that edge razor sharp, to connect deeply with the raw, untamed parts of human potential that the system tries to dull down. Founders who truly attract the best teams are obsessed with one thing: freedom. Freedom not just as a word, but as a lived experience. They don't settle for the sanitized, regulated version of freedom the world hands out. No. These founders create an environment where people can be their full, unfiltered selves. They know the best ideas come from spaces where people feel safe enough to break every rule, question everything, and risk big without choking on fear of failure or judgment. That's radical. That's terrifying for many. But that's the air where greatness breathes. And here's a secret. The best teams don't just want to follow a founder. They want to fight alongside a founder. They want a leader who hears the world's lies, who sees the shackles disguised as freedom, and chooses the hard path of breaking out. Those leaders don't just build tasks and processes. They build a culture of sovereignty. They make every single person feel like their will is their weapon. Every voice matters, every crazy idea counts. That's what makes something exceptional, not ordinary. But it's not about shouting louder or forcing belonging. It's the opposite. It's about being selective, surrounding yourself with people who aren't just on board, but who burn with the same fire. Those who don't need hand-holding, who question everything, who jump into uncertainty with eyes wide open and hearts full of grit. Because the rarest teams aren't built on ease and harmony. They're forged in the heat of tension, challenge, and the refusal to accept less than what's possible. The founder's job is to be patient. Eternity favors the long game, and to create the brittle scaffolding that holds that fire up, while letting it burn bright and chaotic beneath. It's not easy. That's the point. The system tries to swallow up every ember of radical energy with rules and comfortable lies. It promises equality, but actually rewards playing it safe, blending in, not stepping out. But the founders who rise, really rise, see this. They see how the world muffles exceptional people, how it keeps the wild ones isolated, misunderstood, and disconnected. What they do then is pure magic. They build networks, alliances, places where these rare spark catchers find each other, where diverse wild brilliance collides and forms new shapes the world never dreamed of. This is why your biggest advantage as a founder isn't the idea itself, or fancy funding, or even experience. It's how you connect with the few who burn as fiercely as you do. When you do this right, the energy shifts. The right people don't just join a team, they become a force. They challenge, they refine, they push back against the easy, boring, safe answers. And together, this team, this collective of rare minds and hearts, starts to remake reality. Not carefully or incrementally, but with messy, fearless transformation. So if you're a founder who's felt the crushing weight of isolation, the frustration of mediocre hires, or the soul-sucking grind of where you are right now, know this. The way out isn't about trying harder within the old system. The way out is to absolutely refuse the old system. You need to burn it down inside your mind first. Rip up your playbook. Forget the idea that leadership means control or playing politics. Instead, it's about becoming sovereign. About carving out a space, your space, where freedom is more than a word. It's a force that attracts the best, fiercest, most driven people out there, and they will come. They want to be part of a rebellion, not against each other, but against the dull, cold status quo. Against the emptiness disguised as normal. They want something raw, messy, alive. They want to create what the world is too slow or scared to imagine. This is the golden paradox founders face. The more you stay comfortable and try to please the many, the smaller your world becomes. The more you dare to challenge norms, the bigger it gets. Radiant, electric, expansive. The people you want in your team, they don't want safe or polished. They want challenge. They want to be seen and heard and pushed to become their best selves. And you, the founder who dares to live this out fully, you give them that chance. You pull them out of the dull stream of the world's lies and into a river of relentless becoming. And here's what nobody tells you plainly. This journey will hurt. You'll feel lonely like never before. You'll face doubt, betrayal, dropouts. But every moment of doubt, every painful cut, is fuel. You're burning off the old skin, the weak connections, the half-hearted commitments, to make room for those who are meant to build the impossible with you. Remember, best teams aren't built around comfortable consensus or empty promises. They're built around purpose and radical honesty. Around leaders who embody freedom, not just preach it. Around people who see each other's quirks and wild dreams and say, yes, that's exactly why you belong here. So step into that fire. Be unapologetic. Be relentless. Tear up the old world in your mind and the people you need will follow. They'll run toward you because they know you see what most don't. That real power is in the few who refuse to settle, who reject the lull of comfort, who believe in burning bright no matter the cost. Because when founders who challenge norms show up, the best teams don't just happen, they ignite. They become unstoppable. And what you build together isn't just a company. It's a revolution wrapped in flesh and bone and heartbeats. A living proof that the world can be so much more than it claims. So don't look for permission. Don't wait for an invitation. The rare, powerful, wild team you want, it's already out there, waiting for you to find them and to burn with them. The key is simple. Keep being that fearless renegade. Keep leading with fierce freedom. Keep turning the impossibles of today into the realities of tomorrow. This is how the best founders attract the best teams, not by fitting in, but by standing out, by standing firm, by being the fire that no one can ignore.